Hey everybody, welcome back to the SmokeMidwest.com YouTube channel. I'm Scott, and today we are going to be making some spare ribs on the Weber Smoky Mountain hot and fast. All right, before we get this cook going, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and also leave me a comment on what you think of the cook and any other suggestions for videos. So let's get rolling. So what I have here today is a slab of spare ribs from Walmart, about 4.5 pounds. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open them up and do a quick trim on them. I'm going to get the ends off that are pretty thin. And then we're also going to take the membrane off the back and get them seasoned up. So we'll get them out of the package here. Put that off to the side. Pat them down with a paper towel. We're going to trim off some of this excess fat too. It's not going to render out during the cook. And plus we want all of our seasonings to be on the meat, not on the fat. So this end here, see, go about 2 bones in. And we're just gonna slice it off. This end is just gonna burn up. It's not gonna be right. It's gonna be kind of a waste, but you can cook this separately and take it off when it's done. And we're also gonna take this flap here, trim this piece up. And then we're also gonna cut some of this fat here. It's not gonna render very well in the cook. Plus we want our seasonings to be on the meat as much as possible. We're gonna cut some of this loose meat and fat off here too. And then let's get this membrane off. I always use a butter knife here to get under one of the middle bones. And grab yourself a paper towel. See if you can get underneath it and just give it a good pull. And if you're lucky, it's gonna come off all at once. Usually it doesn't, but sometimes it does. I always take this membrane off. It gets chewy, makes your ribs tough. I don't like it. Some people like it. If you want to leave it on, have at it. There we go. Got it. That is off. We'll get some of this fat hanging off here trimmed up. Flip it over. We're gonna get some of this fat off here too. So that way we can get all of our seasonings right down to the meat. These spare ribs, just in general, they're pretty fatty. They got a lot of fat running through them. So by cutting this top stuff off, you're really not losing much. All right, so we got our ribs all trimmed up. Let's go ahead and season them up real quick. We're gonna use 2 different rubs on here, and since we're going hot and fast, I'm using rubs that do not have sugar. So the first base layer is going to be the Smoked Midwest All-Purpose. I know I've mentioned this in other videos, but I use this as a base layer on everything, just because it has a good mix of salt, pepper, garlic, some paprika in there. So, nice light coating there. And then we're gonna come over the top of that with a Black River Barbecue Bandolier Beef. Awesome, awesome rub. Find that at blackriverbarbecue.com. He's also another Arizonan, so good to support the small businesses. So we're gonna go pretty heavy over the back with the Bandolier Beef. Pat it in a little bit. And do the exact same thing on the top side. some smoked Midwest all-purpose. Then the bandolier beef. We're gonna let this sit on here and melt into the meat a little bit while we get our smoker fired up. All right, so here's how we're gonna set up our Weber Smoky Mountain. I have some chunks of wood there at the bottom, 3 chunks of pecan, and 2 chunks of cherry wood. And we're gonna take some Kingsford Original, scatter it out all over. And it's like maybe half full. So we have a full chimney of lit charcoal, and we're just gonna spread it around the top here. And I'm shooting to cook these ribs at 300 degrees, and so that's why I used a full chimney. We'll spread it out there. And I have all the vents on the bottom wide open. And so let's assemble it here. So we get a shot of the inside. I'm not using a water pan, and I'm gonna cook the ribs on the middle grate here. Like I said, we're gonna shoot for 300 degrees. I have a Weber iGrill I'm gonna use to monitor the temp. And so we're gonna let it come up to temperature, then put the ribs on. So our smoker's up to temp. It's a little over 300 degrees. And it didn't take long at all with all that hot charcoal in there. And I closed down some of the bottom vents about halfway just so I can maintain it at 350. We got some nice smoke going. So I'm gonna put the ribs on here. So my plan is about every 30 minutes, I'm gonna flip them over and then twist the grate around a little bit so they cook even. I'm looking for a nice crunchy, charcoaly outside bark to them with a nice juicy tender rib in the middle. And I'm only anticipating these to take about 2.5 hours. So we'll check in with you about 30 minutes. All right, so it's been 30 minutes. Our smoker's been running about 320 degrees. According to the iGrill, this probe up here says 300. Let's check them out. Looking good. So what we're gonna do is just spin the grate, and then we're gonna flip the ribs over. That's what they're looking like on the backside. So we're gonna let them go another 30 minutes like this and check back in with you. So it has been another 30 minutes. The ribs are looking good. I just got some water here in the spray bottle. I'm gonna spray them down to keep them moist. So rotate them about 90 degrees. Give them another flip. Feeling tender already. I'm liking the color on them. So we're gonna flip this side or spritz this side a little bit. All right, we're gonna let them go another 30 minutes. So it's been another 30 minutes. Let's check them out. Nice color going on. Some pullback. We're gonna spritz them with some water here. Another flip and spin. Just like we've been doing. The smoker is bumped up to about 320 degrees, which is no problem at all. Starting to feel tender, so after this next 30-minute round, it'll be the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna check them for tenderness, and we'll see what they're like. We'll see you then. So our ribs have been on a total of 2 hours, and they're looking pretty good. Let's give them another flip and another spin. Looking good. I'm gonna check them for doneness too. So on my probe here, I'm really just checking for tenderness, not necessarily a certain temperature or whatnot. They're getting there. But if I am gonna look at the temp, about 210. They're probing nice and tender. Let's try the old bend test to see how they work, how that works. Oh yeah, starting to crack right there. I'm gonna call these things done. So I'm gonna take them off the smoker and put them on a cutting board, just loosely tint them in foil and let them rest about 20 minutes. And then let's give them a shot. We'll cut them up and give them a try. All right, so our ribs are done. So a quick recap of what we did is we had about a 4.5 pound rack of spare ribs, seasoned them up with the Smoked Midwest All-Purpose and the Bandolier beef from Black River Barbecue. Had a Weber Smoky Mountain running about 325 degrees, and we put them on and we flipped them and spinned them about every 30 minutes, and they've been on about 2 hours. And then I took them off, and they were done because they're tender and they look fantastic and they smell fantastic. It's got a hell of a bark on here, but they feel extremely tender. So let's go ahead and cut one up, and we'll see how they taste. Oh yeah, they look nice and juicy still. Take a look at that. So let's give one a try. They're good. Extremely good. We didn't use any rub in here with sugar in it because I was afraid it was going to burn up with the high heat. We'll take a look at that. Comes right off the bone. There's a great spice to it, good pepper flavor to both of these rubs. It's just an all-around fantastic with the bark. It's good. It's money. If you haven't tried this, give it a shot. They were done in 2 hours, and absolutely great. So give this video a like, leave me a comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.